Hello and welcome to video 4 of Good Cut, Bad Cut, a ongoing series that looks at the art of editing in different films and pinpoint those great but also not so great moments when it comes to how editing is used. In my last video, I looked at the film Persona. The film I'm looking at today is kind of unique because it's a special feature actually on a DVD from the Criterion collection called Jean Dielman, and I believe this is spine number 484. And the short film, this is actually by director Chantal Akerman. This is the first film that she ever made in her career back in 1968. And the film that I'm going to be looking at is called Saute Ma Ville. Saute is about a unnamed girl played by Akerman herself when she was just 18. And the film is almost entirely shot in a small, cramped kitchen. And it just follows this girl as she goes about doing different chores around the room. And that seems at first like it's a pretty uninteresting story for a movie, but the way that the story is told, and particularly how it's edited, is interesting. As mentioned, the director is Chantal Akerman. Her editor on this project was Genevie Luciani, and this is actually the first work of either of theirs that I've seen, so I had no kind of previous engagement with any of their other work, so it was interesting for me seeing this piece for the first time. My honorable pick for Good Cut would be the various techniques that the film uses to get at the mental and emotional state of this girl who actually doesn't speak at all in the film. There was one moment in particular where the camera slowly tracks into the back of this woman's head. On the soundtrack, suddenly we hear these alarm bells, which to me could convey that, though on the surface this woman looks somewhat calm and in control of herself, inside there might be a little bit more going on. I wanted to mention one of those moments that I was not so much a fan of, and that is hard to say in a film like this because she and her editor are experimenting with different techniques. The moments that kind of pulls me out of the story and makes me less invested is those scenes where Chantal looks into the camera for a brief moment, almost kind of acknowledging our presence, and it's hard to say whether that was kept in there intentionally, but those kind of acknowledgments of the camera's presence do tend to pull you out of this fantasy world that the filmmakers are trying to create for us as viewers. So my favorite moment of editing in the film is right at the beginning, where this girl, we see her running quickly up a flight of stairs. We don't know where this person is going, so kind of adding to the mystery is on the soundtrack we hear the sounds of a young girl singing, and the pace of her singing picks up as this girl is running faster. So it's just this odd moment in the film that still kind of works, because even though we are in this like black and white film that looks kind of gritty and raw and realistic, there's this element of like almost like magic and fantasy going on, and just things are going to be happening that we won't be able to anticipate. So this moment is kind of a good introduction to this world. Overall, what I took away from the film was these themes of how young people, as they're kind of growing into adulthood, have to take on more responsibility. I have more thoughts about the film written below, so feel free to check that out if you have time, and also if you have a chance to see this film, let me know your thoughts on that too. Thank you for watching Good Cut, Bad Cut. In my next video, I'll be wearing a new shirt and talking about the film I like editing these.